Taurus November 2013 with me, Lada from astrolada.com, and it's gonna be a big month for you, Taurus. Whether it's your ascendant, sun or moon in Taurus, something for a lot of you might be changing, and something might be really in your life taking a different direction. And if you don't know what your ascendant, sun or moon is, because you might have your sun in Virgo, for instance, and you say, oh, that doesn't influence me, but you might have your moon in Taurus and your life might be turned upside down if you don't check your moon as well. Or if you have your Venus in Taurus as well, because the real events are happening in November in Taurus. So if you're Aries or if you're Gemini, you might have your Venus in Taurus. Make sure you check there if you have it, because Venus is, for instance, the planet of love and relationships. So the eclipse that is happening in Taurus, sorry, not in Taurus, but which is affecting Taurus in 2013 November, can really eclipse your love life, can really make something fully change in your love life. But let's stick with the sun, ascendant and moon. Now the eclipse Taurus is happening in the 7th house of relationships, and not for everyone it will be changes in relationships, but for quite a few of you there might be like a very big focus. An eclipse focuses a lot your energy, whatever is happening, on relationships and on resolving some difficult situations. There something can come to an end and a new beginning can start. It's very likely that you can finally get rid of a relationship you've been stuck in and you didn't have the strength to leave before. Now you get the strength to leave, or if you're resisting it, outer circumstances break you out into it and force you into that. Or for instance, you might be in a happy relationship, but it's not the person you're supposed to be with. It's not fated, because the eclipses bring fated events usually. So you find out that your partner cheated, or something out of the blue can happen as well that can disturb and disrupt your relationship and make you doubt your relationships, make you doubt your relationship, not only with a lover or partner, with anyone one-to-one, that you might get a little bit of a shock or a surprise this month. And actually, those of you who've been single or who haven't had any action for a while, the eclipse can bring the opposite. The eclipse can introduce into your life now someone new, actually someone fated that you're supposed to meet. So it's not all, eclipses don't always bring negative things. They bring things that have to happen. If you've veered off your path, if you're not on the right path, eclipse say, enough, I've given, the gods say, I've given you enough of time to play around, to try different things, to experiment, but this is not the road you're supposed to do. Now I'm bringing you back to your fated path that you have to experience. So eclipses tend to bring those events. And when they're in the 7th house, they can very much to do with relationships. But if it's your moon, if it's your sun, for instance, in Taurus, so if you're born in May or part of April in Taurus, it can be to do with your career, actually, a big change in your career, because the sun is to do with your role that you play in life, the biggest role, the most important role, and this is the career usually. So there can be a big shift and change in regards to your career, in finding what your vocation is as well. There can be something that brings a new opportunity, because this eclipse, every eclipse is a bit different, and this eclipse in particular is an eclipse of course it always makes everything fly in the air and changes things, but this eclipse in particular can also is an eclipse of new beginning, of something new that can come to you as well. So let's see who will feel the eclipse the most. Those of you who have their ascendant or their moon in Taurus from around 6 to 16 degrees, because the eclipse is happening at 11 degrees in Taurus, they will feel it very strongly. They can be like maybe those, especially those at 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 degrees in Taurus with ascendant or moon, they can have some life-altering experiences, especially in relationships, especially to do with also their path in life. It can be a lot of different things. It depends on the horoscope. It has to be looked at personally. Or if you're born from, it means you have your sun at those degrees from around the 28th of April till the 6th, 7th of May, especially the 3rd, the 2nd, the 1st of April, they'll feel it, or the 4th of May, they'll feel it more intensely, this eclipse. And actually, always before an eclipse, a month before that, almost more people start feeling worried. They start because they feel instinctively that something big is about to change, and they don't understand what it is, because eclipse, it hides the light. So for these people, the light is hidden. They do not, it's like walking in the dark. They're not aware. They can feel intuitively that something is about to happen, something is about to change, or they feel that things need to come to a change. But they have no idea how they'll do that. They have no idea, do they have the strength to do it, and how exactly they'll do it. And there is like an inner tension, inner worry, and that's why eclipses have such a bad reputation, because just like before an eclipse, all the nature goes quiet, and all the animals, like, it's as if it's a night, it's dark, they disappear, they go quiet. The same thing happens in the person. They're like, whoop, they can really inside start feeling very different and worrisome. So don't worry if you're feeling like that in October, in November, part of December. Know it will pass away. Know that this eclipse means that just big changes will be happening in your life, and it will bring them to a head forward. It will bring them, whether it's in your career, in your relationships, you know, in your personal path in life as well. But these are the people that I mentioned will feel it most intensely, though a lot of Tauruses will experience it. And there will be like cleaning of something old, letting go of something old, finally finding the strength, you know, and laying the foundations and allowing path for something new to come. So big thing for relationships, you know, some of you might be meeting a fated partner, some of you might be separated if it's no longer part of your fate with a partner. And those of you who have their sun in Taurus, it might more to do with career and your personal path in life and your health. So watch out, eclipses on the sun, especially if you're born at the end of April, the beginning of May. These eclipses, it's opposite your sun, but they can be quite, for those of you who, they can be like, be careful not to be around the beginning of November in dangerous situations. Don't go swimming in sea, because I've known people who actually had the near-death experiences. So I don't want to scare you, you know. It can be the most divine near-death experience that changes your mind, you know, completely about the reality of world. But I want to warn you to watch out your health as well during this period, because the energies are very intense. And let's see, Jupiter is, so a lot of things happening in regards to your relationships, in regards to partnerships, very likely, in regards to activities with other people, and also third house. Jupiter is triggering your third house, another desire house, just like the seventh house is the desire house, and a lot of activities and business happening. It continues the trend from October, happening in regards to communications, in regards to information. You might be getting a lot of information. You might be starting learning something new with Jupiter in the third house. You might be starting something that you've always been afraid to do, because third house, when it's triggered, it brings courage to people. So some can learn new language, to play the piano, to play basketball, you know, to I don't know. Third house is also travel, so some people might start traveling a bit more. And third house is also teammates and co-workers, so you can have quite a productive time, because Jupiter tends to bring positive developments in regards to teammates and co-workers. And if you're trying to do something in association with another person, in a group of people, brainstorming activities can be quite, can bring some positive developments as well. And also siblings and relatives is third house, so maybe something good can happen in regard if you collaborate into the life of your siblings and relatives, or brothers and sisters. They can be a source of some positive developments for you. And third house is communication, so maybe giving something positive can happen if you're giving a speech somewhere, or if you're presenting a plan of yours, or if you're I don't know, if you're involved with media, third house, if you're involved with the internet somehow, if your career is involved in any way, advertising, in marketing, in all those areas which need information, communication, and exchange of information, journalism, TV, this can be a very good and busy month for you. And any kind of businesses, because seventh house, that is very powerfully triggered by the eclipse, is also connected strongly to business, because seventh house is one-to-one exchange with another. And third house is the communications and the exchanges you do with another, which keep the business running, like marketing, advertising as well, with your correspondence. So this month can continue to be really positive, or start to be very positive, for especially Taurus ascendant people, to a lesser degree Moon and Sun in Taurus, in regards to business. If they're involved in any kind of businesses, in interaction with people, that's positive time. And let's see, I want to give just a couple of other pointers. Those of you who have Saturn, some of you have Saturn transit. If you have your moon or ascendant from around 12 to 17 degrees in Taurus, it means Saturn is transiting your ascendant or your moon. Or if you're born from the 2nd to the 8th of May approximately, which these people correspond a lot with the, actually with the eclipse that is happening. So definitely for those Saturn and an eclipse together close on those degrees, this can be a life changer, a big one. It can be a bit painful because Saturn always gives it with a lot of worry and fear, and an eclipse is already scary a bit, but it can bring things to a head in your life. It can get them moving. For a bit it might petrify you and freeze you with the onslaught of new energy and an onslaught of changes, but like you start little by little, you know, to get moving. So even if you get incapacitated for a little bit with fear, know that it's a signification of a big change in your life. So thank you very much, Taurus, and I hope to see you next month.